Yeah, today's episode we are looking at the popular but dangerous idea, the one. I'm very sure many of you have heard that, the one. I'm waiting for the one. I'm waiting for the one. My question to you all out there is there really the one? How many times have you heard people say, I'm just waiting for the one, or something like, maybe I married the wrong person? I have heard people say that a lot of times. Movies, music, and social media has sold us this fantasy of making us believe that there's someone somewhere out there that's a perfect person for us. That's that perfect person that will just complete you, that will understand everything, that will understand what's in your mind, understand everything about you, even without you saying a word. Someone that is just going to love you unconditionally without effort. Yeah, social media have given us, has painted that kind of fantasy for us, that kind of picture. To be sincere, it actually sounds so romantic, right? Yeah, it sounds so romantic. A situation where you find someone that will just love you unconditionally without putting any effort at all. You just want the person to complete you. The person should be there for you every time you need them. That kind of picture. It's a romantic picture, right? But here's the problem. None of it is real. None of it is real. I was reading a book by Timothy Keller. Yeah, Timothy Keller. And he explained this as what he called this concept romantic idealism. Yes, romantic idealism. Aside from the fact that romantic idealism is destructive, it's not real, it's also destructive. Like it's not real. You can't find it in reality. Aside from that, it's also a destructive kind of idea that one should have. And this is destructive in the sense that when you believe in the one, you enter marriage expecting that your spouse is expected to meet all your needs. Your emotional needs, your spiritual needs, your physical needs, and even your social needs. Sooner or later, you see, reality check just comes in, and reality just checks up on you and just eats you bam. And you find out that they're disappointing you, they change, they don't even read your mind. Sometimes it looks like they don't even care. And when all this start happening, you suddenly feel that maybe I made the wrong choice. Maybe I made a mistake in getting married to this person. Maybe this, maybe that. Maybe I was supposed to marry someone else. It's because of the expectation that this romantic idealism has given to you. So my people, here's the beautiful truth. You don't find a soulmate, you build one. Yeah, let me say that again for the sake of the couples in crisis. You don't find a soulmate. You don't find a soulmate. You become one together. Together. And this happens through time, through shared battles, through forgiveness and compromise, through grace. You see, that perfect person you are searching for doesn't exist. But that person beside you, that imperfect, complex, and sometimes frustrating one beside you, that one can make you become a perfect, you can become a perfect match together. That's if you both choose to grow. Take for instance, a couple who married young, and realized 5 years after marriage or 5 years into their marriage, they realized that they were drastically different in personality. They were different in personality, in dreams, and even in communication style. They are like words and opposites. And they got to realize that 5 years into the marriage. Now you might want to ask yourself, was it a mistake? If you ask me, I will tell you 5 years wasn't a mistake. So no, it wasn't a mistake. This same couple I'm talking about started counseling. They started praying together, and they started learning how to love one another. They started learning how to love each other the way Christ would actually love us. And as I speak to you today, their marriage is 20 years counting, and they are waxing stronger and stronger, both serving the Lord. So, maybe you are out there listening and wondering if your spouse is the one. What if the better question is, am I becoming the one my spouse needs? Not just you asking, is it the one? The better question would be, are you the one your spouse needs? Instead of looking for an exit, you might want to start looking for a way to deepen your connection with your spouse. Stop expecting your spouse to be the one when you are not prepared to be the one yourself. You are looking for someone that's going to complete your needs, that's going to make you complete, but you are not making yourself available, or you are not making yourself the kind of person that will also complete somebody's needs or meet somebody's needs. For those of you looking for a particular the one, you also have to make yourself become the one. True love is not about perfect compatibility. No, it's about perfect commitment. So my dear people, for those of you still waiting for the one, you might want to stop waiting for the one and become the one yourself. Before we conclude the program today, these are a few things that we should all reflect on. Especially for the couples out there, the singles, we should all reflect on this. Ask yourself these questions. Am I expecting my spouse to meet the needs that only God and personal growth can meet? Let me share more light on that. Some of us are expecting our spouse to do things in our life that only God can do for us. So you might want to ask yourself, am I expecting my spouse to meet the need that only God or personal growth can meet? Take your time to reflect on that. You should also ask yourself this question. Do I see love as something to feel or something to build? Do I see love as something to feel or something to build? Ask yourself this question too. Have I been comparing my relationship, that's my real relationship, to an unrealistic romantic idealism? Let me say that again. Remember, we already discussed what romantic idealism is. The concept where you expect that somebody is the one, someone out there is perfect for you, someone out there is going to love you without effort. Yeah, that kind of concept, the one that the movie and social media has created for us, is that's romantic idealism. Now you want to ask yourself, and you have to be truthful to yourself to actually get the right answers for those reflections. So you want to ask yourself if you have been comparing your real relationship to that unrealistic relationship romantic idea. You also want to ask yourself questions like, instead of just complaining and lamenting all the time, what intentional steps can I take to become a better partner rather than looking for a better partner? Now let me repeat that. What intentional step can I take to become a better partner rather than looking for a better partner? This is for couples that are probably going through one thing or the other. Only God knows the phase that your marriage is right now. But you might want to ask yourself this question. Do I treat my marriage like a finished story or like a work in progress? Yeah, your marriage might be going through a phase that's, it's not really palatable, and it's looking as if you made a mistake. But I want to tell you, it's not a mistake. You just need to be intentional about the steps you take. So you want to ask yourself a question: are you treating that marriage like a finished story, or you are treating it like a work in progress? Couples out there, you might want to ask yourself those questions. Do we believe that we can go together? We can grow together into soulmates? Do we believe that we can grow together into soulmates through time, trial, and tenderness? It is very important that we reflect on these questions. Couples should have time when they both sit down and reflect on their journey so far. Where they both look at the things they've done well, the things they are yet to do well, and the things that they think they can improve on. It is necessary for couples to have such time. So if you're out there, my listeners, and you have been waxing in the idea of romantic idealism, expecting the one, I will encourage you to stop looking for the one and become the one yourself. Be that person that is willing to meet the needs of your spouse and not just expecting your spouse to meet your needs. The sacrifice is not expected to be one-sided. You are both in the boat. So you're in the boat together. So you don't expect one party to be doing something and you are just sitting there expecting the party to be doing it. At some point they get tired. So instead of you expecting things from them, expecting them to meet your spiritual needs, expecting them to meet your emotional needs, expecting them to meet your physical need, expecting them to meet your social needs, and whatever needs it might be that you think you are in need of, instead of you expecting that from them, you might want to become that person that meets those needs in them. So you can only imagine if we all have the mindset that, okay, I'm getting into this marriage to meet this particular need in the life of this person. However, don't forget that there are some needs that only God can meet. So don't tell yourself to God in somebody's life. Allow God to meet those needs. So my dear people, romantic idealism is not something to wallow on. It's not something to dwell on. And aside from the fact that romantic idealism is not real, it is also destructive. I believe you've learned one thing or the other from today's episode. So if you've learned one thing or the other, go to the comment section and write what you have learned from today's episode, and write one thing that you would do differently going henceforth. And that will be all on today's episode of Marriage Odors. So join us again next week for another exciting episode of Marriage Odors. Until we meet again, love deeply, respect genuinely, and keep the spark alive.